single American. 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election. 1/3. We can take back the Senate. But it needs all of you to vote. We are here to support every organization that is interested in furthering and extending their activism and turning that into votes that are going to make a difference. We're here to support. So let us know.
I was like, you know what? All we need is one lighter. It's symbolic. Because if I light my flame and I use it to light yours, and we can help each other through this. Mother of exiles, from her beacon hand, flows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command. The air-bridged harbor that Twin Cities frame, keep ancient lands, your storied pomp, cried she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tippet tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
No one leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. You only run for the border when you see the whole city running as well. Your neighbor's running faster than you. The boy you went to school with who kissed you dizzy behind the old tin factory is holding a gun bigger than his body. You only leave home when home won't let you stay. No one would leave home unless home chased you. Fire under feet, hot blood in your belly. It's not something you ever thought about doing. And so when you did, you carried the anthem under your breath, waiting until the airport toilet to tear up your passport and swallow, each mouthful of paper, making it clear that you would not be going back. You have to understand, no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. Who would choose to spend days and nights in the stomach of a truck unless the miles traveled meant something more than journey? No one would choose to crawl under fences, be beaten until your shadow leaves you, raped, then drowned, forced to the bottom of the boat because you are darker, be sold, starved, shot at the border like a sick animal, be pitied, lose your name, lose your family, make a refugee camp a home for a year or 2 or 10. Stripped and searched, find prison everywhere. And if you survive, and you are greeted on the other side with go-home blacks, refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, sucking our country dry of milk, dark with their hands out, smell strange, savage. Look what they've done to their own countries. What will they do to ours? The dirty looks in the street, softer than a limb torn off. The indignity of everyday life, more tender than 14 men who look like your father between your legs. Insults, easier to swallow than rubble, than your child's body in pieces. For now, forget about pride. Your survival is more important. I want to go home, but home is the mouth of a shark. Home is the barrel of the gun, and no one would leave home unless home chased you to the shore, unless home tells you to leave what you could not behind, even if it was human. No one leaves home until home is a damp voice in your ear saying, leave, run now, I don't know what I've become.
We are having a Vive la Résistance themed celebration and commemoration for our country. We will also talk about voter registration. We will have voter registration, so if you need to register to vote, come and do it. If you have not registered to vote as an American overseas since January of this year, you still need to do it. It doesn't matter that you did it in 2016. It doesn't matter that you've always gotten your ballot in the past and your mom sent it to you. None of those things matter. The rules are changing, and you must, to play it safe, you really got to register and request that ballot every election year in which you wish to vote. That is this year. So we invite you, if you've registered to vote or you're not sure, come on down and bring a friend. You not registered to vote, come on down and bring a friend. We're going to be at Les Notes on the Seine. So just on the Seine, we'll be having apéros at Rive Droite between Pont Marie and Pont Sully. So it's like number 1 Quai Celestin, Quai de Celestin. And I've got flyers here, so if anyone needs a flyer, we can give you a flyer. So that will be July 4th, beginning at 6 p.m.
Together, we can do this. Thank you so much, and have a fabulous night.
Really, you are the secretary of Indivisibles France. That is an American group here in Paris, which is, I quote, dedicated to resisting threats to democracy and human rights worldwide through collectively organized, concrete actions. Well, this is the Place de la République in Paris, and Indivisibles France has been holding a candle vigil along with Democrats Abroad France to protest the current policies in the US against undocumented migrants with children, that is, separating children from the parents with a view to deporting the parents. As we know, well, these policies have been somewhat rolled back, somewhat amended by President Donald Trump. Zero tolerance has been abandoned, that is for now, but the principle has not been given up, and families of migrants will likely continue to be rounded up for eviction from the United States. While there are people walking by here on the Place de la République, what would you like them to understand, and anybody who may be watching this, about your struggle to bring these brutal anti-immigrant policies to an end?
What I most want people to understand is that we are in the parts of history that they learned about. We are here in slave times. We are here in the Holocaust. We are here at the Trail of Tears. We are here at the Japanese internment camps. We are at a crossroads of all of these events, and we can stand up. We cannot answer for those past events, but we can answer for these ones, and we must. It is our duty as people in this world to care about one another, because if we don't, then who will? If not now, then when? If not us, then who?
Well, as we know, in a recent tweet, well, a communication channel which we all know he loves, Donald Trump said, "If you don't have borders, you don't have a country." Well, all right, but no one said that borders had to be firewalls aimed at keeping away most anyone trying to come in. That's not the point. Unfortunately, this tweet, well, seems to point out to the very issue which has been carrying populist movements lately, be it in the US with Donald Trump, or Britain with the Brexit vote, here in France where in the second time, 15 years for the second time, the National Front was present on the second ballot of the presidential vote, and that issue is called migration. Well, everywhere in the world, populist parties are saying the same thing. Foreigners are enemies, invaders, who must be thought of when trying to come in, and expelled, well, when they're already here, but without proper papers. Well, as Americans in Paris, you yourself are migrants here, just as much as risk as any other migrants from countries beyond the European Union might be. Well, in your view, what are the policies that need to be created, both at the national level and under international law, to effectively address the issue of migration in a manner that is humane and provides opportunities for migrants, the countries of origin, and the host countries, so to speak, altogether? What do you think about it?
Well, first of all, yes, we are migrants here. I am an immigrant myself. I don't like using the term expat because I am not an expat. I am an immigrant. I go to immigration court. I go to immigration classes. I don't go to expat court. I go to immigration court. But I have more privilege than the others because I am white and from a Western country. And so I don't have to face all the hardships that they do. I also am willingly migrating here. I chose to do this. The vast majority of the migrants, they have no choice. Their countries have been destroyed by the United States, by their wars, by greed and corruption. They have been destroyed, some of them by climate change, and they have no choice but to move. The U.S. and most other Western countries have far more resources than they can already use. We have far more homes that are empty than we have homeless people. We throw away tons of food and clothes, literally tons of them. We have the resources to help people. We choose not to. And for countries that literally still have territories all over the world, it's inexcusable. And I believe that we need to open the borders. We need to help people. We need to have compassion. We have the resources to do it, and we need to.
Well, unfortunately, as you know, there's an activist with Amnesty International in the south of France, Martine Landry, who has been prosecuted and tried in a criminal court lately for allegedly helping 2 migrant minors from Africa cross the French border from Italy. While she didn't do it, all she did was assist them upon arrival on French soil. During her trial, even the prosecutor had to recognize that there was no evidence against her and she should be acquitted after all. Well, in the US too, immigrant activists have been arrested and charged. By last March, well, an estimated 20 groups and individuals were being prosecuted for providing migrants with assistance. Well, a conduct that can hardly be described as a threat to public order or society, can it? Well, what do you wish the French public and the American public too could understand about these threats, these serious threats to civil society, democracy, and human rights as a whole?
The thing that people need to understand is that if they can do this to migrants, they can do it to anybody. This is exactly how Hitler worked. You start with the foreigners, and then you move on to, well, you're in the same group as the foreigner, and especially as Trump is calling for just kick them out. No trial, no nothing, no due process, just go. Who's to keep any one of us from facing that same thing? Who are you going to prove you're a citizen to if you're not given due process, if you don't go to court? We need to understand that this is not just about other people, this is about all of us. And that we have to protect others, we have to protect ourselves, and we have to come together as one voice and put an end to this. Historically, we've been able to do it, and we could do it again.
Then we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
Thank you, Keely.
Thank you.